Welcome student. In this class I will discuss first part of the constitution. Okay. You see, in original constitution there were 22 parts. Right now there are 25 part of the constitution. The first part of the constitution, the title of the first part is Union and its territory. Okay. It consists of 4 articles, namely Article 1st, Article 2nd, Article 3rd and Article 4. Getting well now? First one should clarify what is the difference between the term Union of a State and Territory, Union of India and Territory of India. Right? These are the two terms. One is Union of India and second is Territory of India. Getting well now? Under the term Union of India, only the states are included, not Union Territory. Whereas under the term Territory of India, states are included, Union Territory are included, and also acquired territory which India gets from the foreign country through agreement or treaty is also included under the term Territory of India. It is referred to acquired territory. So under the term Union of India, only states are included, whereas under the term Territory of India, states as well as Union Territory and acquired territory are included. Getting well now? As far as the question of this part is concerned, this part consists of 4 articles. Article 1st, Article 2nd, Article 3rd and Article 4. Okay? There are 4 articles. So, what is the content of Article 1st of the Constitution? Okay. So, there are particularly few aspects in Article 1st. The most important aspect is it states that India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of a state. Again, see, it states that India shall be India, that is Bharat, shall be the union of a state. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of a state. Union of states. Getting well now? There are 2 names. One is India and second is Bharat. Right? So these are the 2 names which the constitution give to our country. The term India is used for international purpose. Every international agreement will be on the name of India, whereas Bharat used for domestic purpose. Okay? And as far as the question of Union of India is concerned, so you see what is the meaning of the term union, right? Whether it is similar to that of unitary form or federal form or somewhat different. Okay? In the global context, there are 2 types of political unit. One is unitary form of the government and second is federal form of the government. In unitary form of the government, the entire power of the governance, that is law-making power, is central is vested in the central legislature. Okay? There is no specific rule power assigned to the state legislature with respect to law-making power, and this system prevails in United Kingdom. Getting well now? So United Kingdom is the example of unitary form of the government, where the British Parliament holds the power to make law for the entire country. Okay? In Britain, there is no state legislature with adequate power similar to that of America, similar to that of erstwhile USSR, or similar to that of India. Getting well now? It means particularly in unitary form of government, there is a concentration of power at the center. So in this context, it appears to be less democratic. Okay? Right? On the other hand, you see, in federal form of the government is based on the provision of division of power between the center and the state. Right? Division of power is different from that of separation of power. The term separation of power refers to the separation of duties and responsibility between legislature, judiciary and executive. This is referred to as principle of separation of power. The principle of separation of power was propounded by the principle of separation propounded by Montesquieu. Okay, whereas division of power refers to the division of authority between the center and the state. It's right. It is clear that there is no concentration of power in federal form of the government. Okay, right. Whereas in unity form of the government, there is a concentration of power. Right. USA is the example of federal form. Canada is the example of federal form. East while USSR was the example of federal form. Australia is the example of federal form. Right. And so it is said that India is also the example of federal form, because it is said that India is federal in feature but unitary in spirit. Okay, you see, the seventh schedule of the Constitution contains provision of division of power consisting of three lists, namely central list, state list, and concurrent list. Okay, from this part it appears that India is federal in feature. Getting well now? But when national emergency is imposed under Article 352 of the Constitution, then the entire power to make law or legislation vests in the hand of the central parliament, that is Indian Parliament. During this, India acts as a unity form of the government. Okay, so actually it means India is the mixture of both federal as well as unitary. Getting well now? Normally it appears like federal, but exceptionally in abnormal condition, that is in case of emergency, it acts as unity form of the government. Getting well now? Unity form of the government. Getting well? So actually you see, but it is not either federal or purely particularly unitary in character. Okay, so that's why the Supreme Court in its verdict given in context of the Union of India versus State of Rajasthan used the term amphibian and quasi-federal for India. Right? Amphibian means which can survive in aquatic area as well as continental part. So that's why if the term amphibian is used transition character, right? Or since India normally appear like federal character, but exceptionally it acted unity from the government. So that's why the Supreme Court used the term quasi-federal. Getting well now? Now, so India is basically a federal. It appears so on the basis of 7th schedule of the Constitution. But you must keep in mind that the term federation is not used in any part of the Constitution. Okay? And Article 1st of the Constitution states that India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of a state. Okay? Why not federal? It is important point of discussion now. So you see, as far as the question of the lesson taken from the freedom struggle and why India became the colony of British Empire, right? During freedom struggle, we experienced that the lack of effective centralized authority in India was the cause why India became the colony of British Empire. That's why effort was made during the freedom struggle, right? And effort was made, and hence last Mughal emperor was declared as the emperor of India, but he could not function effectively. Okay, so on one hand we were of the opinion that one should have effective centralized authority, and this is possible only in the unity form of the government. Okay, on the other hand, particularly you see India and the constitutional framework of India, right, designated India in the form of federal setup. Okay, provision made it in the form of federal setup, like 7th schedule of the Constitution. Position of Rajya Sabha, right, which is referred to as Council of State, also express the federal character of Indian Constitution. It is clear now. So, first effort to provide federal form to the government, to India, was made under Government of India Act 1935. Okay, but due to non-participation of princely state, the proposal given under Government of India Act 1935 to form the Indian Federation not came into existence. Okay, but when India became independent and constitutional framework had the responsibility to impart a specific feature to India, either federal feature or unity form of the government, you see there were certain geographical factors, right, which was not favoring for unity feature of the government. You see, unity form of government will be more effective for the country having a small size. Okay, for the country having less latitudinal and longitudinal expansion, for the country having same type of language, for the country having same type of religion, for the country having same type of topography, for the country having same type of climatic condition. But India is the land of diversity, having different type of topography, different type of culture, different type of climatic condition, different type of language, different type of physical location, and long extensive latitudinal and longitudinal expansion. Okay, so that's why unity from the government was not favored, and hence due to this geographical factor, the constitutional framer opted opted for federal form of the government. Getting well now? But actually federal form of the government. Now you see, here it is important to understand the term federation. Okay? So as far as the question of federation is concerned, so how federation came into existence is an important point. You must know that federation is always the product of an agreement reaching between different political units or states. It is clear now? Actually, you see, through Warsaw Pact, different European countries combined to form USSR. Getting well now? So actually, since it was the agreement and hence it was the federation now, right? So federation is always set up through under the agreement reaching between the state. Getting well now? Second important first criteria is it is the product of the agreement. Okay? In context of India, if you will see now, so in context of India, there is no such type of agreement held among the state. It is a voluntary type of federation or association. Getting well now? Second criteria for federal setup is there are two type of constitution. Okay? Second type is you see there are two type of constitution. One is federal constitution and second is provincial constitution as exists in America. In America, there are federal constitution as well as provincial constitution. The federal government draw its power and authority through the federal constitution, and provinces of America draw their authority through the provincial constitution. Clear? Third character of federal setup is the federation is always destructible, right? It means whenever the state will decide or constituent political unit will decide, it can easily come out of the federation. It is clear, na? So that's why it is said that destructibility is the basic feature of federation. As was seen in case of USSR, you see USSR came into existence through Warsaw Pact. The general agreement was the federal government will implement the communist ideology. But when Gorbachev became the president of USSR, he adopted two important economic policy known as Perestroika and Glasnost. Okay, one was Perestroika and second was Glasnost. It was liberal policy. It caused disagreement among the state and which led to the dissolution of USSR in 1991. Okay, so it is clear that USSR was the best example of federal setup because on one hand it was set up on the basis of agreement, on the other hand it was having destructible character. It is clear now? Next, fourth character of the federal setup is every federal setup poses disintegrated judicial system. Okay, as for example, what is the meaning of disintegrated judicial system? You see, in America there is a federal court and there is provincial court. Okay, federal court adjudicates the dispute arising out of the federal constitution, and provincial court adjudicates the issue arising out of the provincial constitution. Okay, but you see, like India, right, against the decision of the provincial court, you cannot file appeal in the federal court in America, because in America there exists disintegrated judicial system, and between federal court and provincial court, senior subordinate relation not exist. Okay, right? But in India we opted for integrated judicial system. We have Supreme Court, then High Court, then District Court, then Municipal Court, and every judicial institution do enjoy senior subordinate relation. Decision of the subordinate court can be challenged in the superior court under their appellate jurisdiction, and this is the characteristic of integrated judicial system. Okay. Next character of federal setup is, right, in every federal setup there are two type of citizenship provision. One is the citizenship for the nation and second is the citizenship for the province, right? But in India we opted for single citizenship system from United Kingdom, okay, right? Actually in India every person is the citizen of India but not the citizen of a state. He can be the resident of a state, to be noted, okay, but not the citizen of India. He is the citizen of India. He can be the resident of Madhya Pradesh, he can be resident of Delhi, he can be the resident or domicile of Madhya Pradesh, okay, but he cannot be the citizen of Madhya Pradesh. He is the citizen of the people residing in Bihar or resident of Bihar are also the citizen of India, and the resident of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh are also the citizen of India. It is clear, na? And the single constitution, right, imparts certain specific right to our Indian citizen in the form of fundamental right. Okay, there is no differentiation. Getting well now? So these are the important criteria. What again repeating? The first criteria for federal setup is, right, it is the product of an agreement. This is not so in case of India. Second is it is not destructible. It is essentially destructible, right? But Indian Federation is not destructible, you know, right? As far as the question of American Federation is concerned, so American, as per original constitution, American Federation was also the example of destructible federation. But after Civil War, by 20th Constitutional Amendment Act in America, American Federation was made indestructible federation. Now American Federation cannot be destroyed, similar to USSR. Getting well now? So it is again particularly you see there is a single citizenship India different from that of general normal federal setup, right? There is an integrated judicial system, okay? So these are the important criteria. It is clear now? So on this basis, one cannot say that India is the federal setup. Getting well now, right? Actually, when this issue was pending before the Constituent Assembly, before the drafting committee, so actually either one had to opt for federal setup or one had to opt for unity from the government or confederation. Confederation is also the association of a state. Okay, you see, in confederal setup, right? Confederation is also the product of agreement in between the state. But in confederal setup, the existence of the confederal, that is central government, completely depend on the will of the state. Whenever a state will nominate their representative to form confederal government at the center, and whenever they will decide, they can dismantle the confederal government. Okay. So you see, in unity form the government, the center is the most important. In confederal form the government, the state is most important. But in federal form of government, it is a middle path. You can say both center and state owe their authority from the constitution of this country, as is seen in case of India. It is clear, na? Right? So we try to opt for federal setup, but drafting committee, while formulating the constitution, determining or deciding to provide shape to the Constitution of India, okay, use the term union in place of federal system, federation. Getting well now? Right? Dr. Ambedkar, who was the head of the chairman of the drafting committee, clearly said that India is not federal, because it is indestructible. Okay? Right? Since Indian Federation is indestructible, that's why it is not the federation, it is union. That is clear, na? Right? Though we divide the state due to administrative convenience, but we have the unitary feature, united feature. We all act under the single domain of power. It is clear, na? So what is the meaning of the term unity? It is clear, na? Right? Why not federal? Because Indian Federation is not destructible, so that's why that's why constituent framework use the term union in place of federal term. It is clear, na? In other words, you can say to impart Indian Union, India indestructible shape, right? Constitutional framework opted for union term in place of federation, okay? Because if federation term would have been used in the constitution, then there actually there may be the question for its destructibility. It is clear. So as far as the question of federal setup particularly is concerned, so there are three types of federal setup. We have three examples of federal setup. One is USSR, second is USA, and third is India. Right? Though it is modified form of federalism, and it is referred to union. Okay. Actually, you see in USSR, federation, Russian Federation or Federation of USSR can be defined as destructible federation of indestructible state. Means a state cannot be destroyed, constituent state cannot be altered, okay, in their area cannot be changed because they are having indestructible character, but federation can be destroyed, okay. Again, see, as far as the question of American Federation is concerned, America is the example of an indestructible federation of indestructible state. Neither the federation can be destroyed after 20th Constitutional Amendment Act, nor the state can be destroyed. Getting well now? But Indian Federation is defined as, right, the indestructible federation of destructible state. A state can be destroyed, right? Two states can be merged, okay? The size of the state can be enlarged, the size of the state can be diminished, okay? Right? It is clear now? The one state can be divided into more than two states, okay? As was the example in 2000, right? Chhattisgarh was carved out of Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand was carved out of Uttar Pradesh, and Jharkhand was carved out of Bihar. It is clear now? So it means states are destructible, but no any constituent unit are allowed to go outside India, okay? Whenever such type of demand was raised, right, the central government, right, dealt this problem with iron hand, as was in case of Punjab during Bhindranwale, okay, right, and hence you see to check this type of demand because they were demanding for the creation of Khalistan. Ultimately, the Indira Gandhi government launched Operation Blue Star, and finally this movement was crashed, okay. Similarly, you see ULFA is also demanding, okay. Again, particularly you see Gorkhaland region in West Bengal was almost the same issue. For they were demanding for the separation. It is clear now? Again, you see some secessionist group of Jammu and Kashmir were trying to go outside Indian Union, but you know that Indian Union is not destructible, and hence once a territory came inside Indian Union, it will remain permanently the part of Indian Union. They are not allowed to go outside India in any case. Though if the government entered into treaty, any international treaty, right, then for this is the another case, okay, right, and this will be implemented, right, through passing Amendment Act by absolute majority. It is clear now? So what is the meaning of the term union? It is clear now? How Indian Union is different from that of federation? Got it now? So the Indian Union is not federation because it is not destructible. It is clear now? Right? States are destructible, but federation is not destructible. Also, it is not the product of an agreement. Getting clear? So actually, you see, Article 1 of the Constitution contain the India that is Bharat shall be union of a state, right? It contains the provision that the name of a state and UT will be mentioned in the first schedule of the Constitution. It is clear now? And also spell that India, territory of India will include a state UT as well as acquired territory. Okay? Acquired territory is the territory which India gets from the foreign country. Okay? Initially you see, as for example, right, Puducherry, Pondicherry, right, now known as Puducherry, right, Karaikal, right, Mahe, and was the French colony. That is clear, na? Similarly, Goa and Sikkim were Portuguese colony, na, which was adopted by India. Na? So this will be the example of acquired territory. Okay, getting well now? So what is Article 1 of the Constitution? It is clear. Article 1 states that India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of a state, right? A state and the name of a state and the union territory thereof will be mentioned in first rule of the Constitution. It is clear, na? And Indian territory will include the state, UT and acquired territory. It is clear, na? This is the content of Article 1st of the Constitution. It is clear. Article 1st not mention the name of a state and UT, right? This is mentioned in first rule of the Constitution. Getting well, na? What is the content of Article 1st? It is clear. Now see, as far as the question of Article 2 of the Constitution, the Article 1st is India, that is Bharat, shall be union of a state. Article 1st, India, that is Bharat, shall be union of a state. Second article is Article 2. देखिए, Article 2 deals with the addition of foreign territory inside Indian Union, which India get through है ना war, victory, agreement or treaty. That is clear, na? Right? When the addition of foreign territory, you can say admission of the new state or establishment of the new state. Getting well, na? Addition of new state or establishment of the new state. Or see, if you will take any particularly territory from outskirts from a foreign country, it will come under Article 2 of the Constitution. That is clear, na? When, as for example, I said that Puducherry, right, Karaikal Mahe, was the part of French, was a French colony, French settlement. Later it was acquired inside Indian Union under Article 2 of the Constitution. Similar was the case of Goa and Sikkim. It is clear, na? Right? Later it became the part of Indian Union under Article 2 of the Constitution. Na? Okay. So what is Article 2 of the Constitution? It is clear, na? Again you see one important point. In 1958, an agreement was reached between India and Pakistan. Under this agreement, the provision was to transfer Barubari region of West Bengal to Bangladesh, okay, to East Pakistan. Right now it is known as Bangladesh because it was the agreement of 1958. Na? It is clear, na? And Kuch Bihar region of East Pakistan was to be transferred to India. It is clear, na? So actually there was no constitutional problem in including Kuch Bihar inside Indian Union because it was permissible under Article 2 of the Constitution, which permit the addition of foreign territory inside Indian Union. But right, there is no expressed article in the Constitution which allow the transfer of Indian territory to foreign country, and hence there was a major issue associated with the transfer of Barubari region to Pakistan. It is clear, na? But finally it was done right through Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, as a 9th Constitutional Amendment Act, right? It was done, and finally Barubari region was transferred to particularly East Pakistan, and now it is the part of Bangladesh. Getting well, now? So what is Article 2 of the Constitution? Addition of foreign territory inside Indian Union, establishment of the new state or setting up of the new state. But these states or these territories were not previously the part of India to be noted. Okay, right? They were added inside Indian Union either through treaty or agreement. Okay, so what is Article 2 of the Constitution? It is clear now, right? Again, particularly see Article 3, very important topics. Article 3 deals with the reorganization of Indian state. Okay, what is the meaning of reorganization of Indian state? So reorganization means merging a small state to form large state, dividing large state to form 2 or more states, okay, changing the name of the state, changing the boundary of a state, or carving and also carving some part of the state and transfer this part to some other state. Okay, these are referred to as reorganization. Getting well now? What is the meaning of reorganization? It is clear. Reorganization refers to combining two small state to form large state, dividing large state to form a small state, changing the name of the state, changing the boundary of a state. It is clear, na? But this is mentioned under Article 3 of the Constitution. Reorganization will be done as per under Article 3 of the Constitution, as per the provision of Article 3 of the Constitution to be noted, right? The basic difference between Article 2 and 3 is Article 2 deals with the foreign territory right? The foreign territory will be included inside Indian Union, but Article 3 deals with those territory who already are the part of India, okay? Already are the part of India. Just we will conduct reorganization. That is clear, na? When, as for example, you see through Bombay State Reorganization Act, Maharashtra and Gujarat were created. Through Bihar State Reorganization Act, Jharkhand and Bihar was created. Again through Madhya Pradesh State Reorganization Act, है ना, actually Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh was created, and through Uttar Pradesh State Reorganization Act, Uttarakhand and UC Uttar Pradesh was created. It is clear, na? All the region were the part of Indian Union. So that's why the matter will be under, it is the matter associated with Article 3 of the Constitution. Okay, what is the meaning of reorganization? It is clear, na? You see, and Article 4, you see, what is Article 4? So the Article first define India, that is Bharat shall be Union of State. Article second, right, deals with the admission of the foreign territory inside Indian Union or establishment or creation of the new state, right? Those part territory will be included under Article 2 of the Constitution, which were previously the part of the foreign country, okay? And Article 3 deals with the reorganization of Indian state. What is the meaning of reorganization? I made it clear that merging to a small state to form large state, dividing large state to form two or more small states, okay? Changing the name of a state, changing the boundary of a state. It is clear now? You see, Article 2 and Article 3 are general provision, okay? But under Article 4 of the Constitution, the Indian Parliament holds the right to make law with respect to under the provision mentioned in the Article 2 and 3 of the Constitution. That is clear, na? Right? The law-making power is vested in the center. It is clear, na? The law-making power is vested in the center. Getting well, na? Actually, you see, it is said that suppose any bill proposing the reorganization of a state, okay? So any bill relating to reorganization of a state can be initiated in either house of the parliament, can be introduced in either of the parliament, है ना? Not prior to, है ना? Not without taking the prior approval of the president, right? Such type of bill require the prior approval of the president prior to their introduction in either house of the parliament. That is clear, na? The custom is the president will refer this bill to the associated state whose territory or name or boundary is being affected, okay, to let the opinion of the legislature of this state, okay. Actually, president will transfer the bill, right, and fix a particular period during which the state legislature have to give their opinion on this bill, okay. The president may expand the period of reconsideration, okay, and after, if suppose you see, if a state not given their opinion, then particularly it is considered that the state has given approval, okay. Then it can be put in either house of the parliament, getting well, and it required to be passed by both houses of the parliament by simple majority, right. Such type of fact cannot be considered as Constitutional Amendment Act under Article 368 of the Constitution, because it required to be passed by simple majority and it reflects the flexible nature of Indian Constitution, okay. In context of addition and reorganization of a state, right, only simple majority is required. It is not required to follow the criteria set up under Article 368 of the Constitution, laying down the provision of the Constitutional Amendment Act. Getting well now? Now see, as far as the question of the position of states are concerned, okay, so we came to know about Article 1st, Article 2, Article 3 and Article 4 now. Article 1, India, that is Bharat shall be Union of State. Article 2, addition of foreign territory inside Indian Union or addition of new state or establishment or constitution of new state. Article 3 deals with the reorganization of existing Indian territory, right, merging to a small state to form large state, dividing large state to form two or more state, changing the name and boundary of the state. Is it clear now? And under Article 4 of the Constitution, the Parliament has the power to make law, है ना, to make law to give effect to Article 2 and 3 of the Constitution, and at the same time the Parliament has the power to, है ना, to particularly make law affecting Schedule 1 and 4 of the Constitution, to be noted. Because if newly created state, new state will be established, right, or created through reorganization, then certainly their name will be mentioned under first schedule of the Constitution, and a state will also be allocated their seat in the Rajya Sabha, na, right? So allocation of seat among different states in Rajya Sabha is mentioned under fourth schedule of the Constitution, na. So through Article 4, the 4 will affect Schedule 1 and Schedule 4 of the Constitution. It is clear, na? Now see, very important aspect was, when India got independence, prior to independence, there were three types of political unit broadly. One was British India, second was princely estate, and third was chief commissioner's province. Getting well now? British India was completely under British Empire, okay, was being ruled by the governor. Princely estates were being ruled by local Raja and Maharaja, right? And chief commissioner was ruled by the chief commissioner type of particular authority, who was the agent of the British Empire. It is clear, na? So, but when India got independence, okay, and India was to give a integrated shape, okay, federal shape you can say, or the shape of the union, right? The most important part was to reorganize, to modify the existing political units, okay. British, because the categorization of British India, princely estates, chief commissioner province was according to the administrative convenience of the Britishers, okay. So that required to be changed, and under the new setup, because right, India became the sovereign country, okay. Sovereignty is vested in the people of India collectively. It is clear, na? We have the right to take decision about our country, na? So that's why you see, as our representative body, okay, Constituent Assembly came into existence, na, and it was given the task to formulate the Constitution and also determine the future and fate of the associated political units like a state like British India, etc. It is clear, na? So you see, when Constituent Assembly was considering this unit, there was a demand to reorganize the state on linguistic basis, because you see, British India, princely estate, central administered province, they were based on political consideration, to be noted. Getting well now? But there was a demand from the Constituent Assembly, from or by the members of the Constituent Assembly, to reorganize the state on the linguistic basis, okay, right? As India was to become the union, was to become the federation of a state. So a state, which will be the state, na? What will the shape of the state, whether British India or princely state? No, not at all, na? Right? So actually it was a major task before the Constituent Assembly to decide over this issue, okay. Actually the most effective demand at that time was raised by Communist Party of India, that the Indian state should be reorganized on the linguistic basis, because language affects the culture and tradition of the people, okay, right? Actually, and other activity of the people are guided by culture and tradition, no? Right? Like, because India was, is a traditional society, conventional society you can say, okay, at that time, though some people were having developmental view, right? They were progressive in their approach, but overall India at that time was traditional one, okay. So that's why you see the demand from most of the side was to constitute the state on the basis of language, because language is associated with culture and tradition of the people. Getting well now? And accordingly the criteria should be made to ensure the development of the region. Getting well now? So this demand was made first effectively by, though Congress was also opinion of this type, okay, but actually most effective demand was raised by Communist Party of India. Getting well now? So to consider over this issue, actually Constituent Assembly was to formulate the entire constitution. That's why it was not having adequate time to particularly to pay attention over this issue. To consider this issue, the Constituent Assembly set up, right, Linguistic Provinces Committee, right, in 1948 under the chairmanship of Justice S.K. Dhar. It is clear. It is also referred to as Dar Committee. It is clear, na? So Dar Committee in its report stated that the reorganization of a state on the linguistic basis, right, है ना, will cause several administrative and economic problem. Okay, and also said that if reorganization of a state, है ना, will be done on the linguistic basis, it will darken the future of infantile India. It is clear, na? So this S.K. Dar committee was set up by Constituent Assembly, right? It means S.K. Dar committee rejected the reorganization of a state on the linguistic basis. Okay. Again, the Congress set up JVP committee in the same year, that is in 1948, which submitted its report in 1949. It consisted of Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Pattabhi Sitabai Ramaiah. Okay. This committee also supported the recommendation given by S.K. Dar committee. It means the committee said that it is not immediately viable to reorganize the state on the basis of the language, though this demand can be considered in the future. It is clear, na? So, observing the recommendation of both this committee, finally, it was the need of the hour to provide interim status to the constitution political unity in order to impart Indian the status of union and the federation. Na? So that's why Constituent Assembly divided the Indian state into 4 categories, namely Part A state, Part A state, Part B state, Part B state, Part C state, Part C state, and Part D state. Part D state. Getting well, na? Part A, B, C, and D state. Getting well, na? Right? So this was the division of a state, categorization of a state as per the original constitution. Okay? Under Part A state, British India was included. Under Part B state, those princely states who were having their legislature was included. Under Part C state, those princely states having no legislature, and also Andaman and Nicobar Island was, and also Chief Commissioner Province was included, and Andaman and Nicobar Island was included under Part D state. Getting well, na? Actually, in Part A, British India was included. In Part B, those princely states having legislature were included. In Part C, those princely states having no legislature were included, and also, right, Chief Commissioner Province was made the part of Part C, na? And under Part D, Andaman and Nicobar Island was included. It is clear, na? So it means it appears that Part A, B, C, D was completely on political basis. Okay? Categorization of Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D was exclusively on the political consideration. Getting well, na? Okay? You see, this was, but it was the interim provision contained in the original Constitution of India, which came into force, which was dedicated to the people of India on 26 November 1949 and became effective on 26 January 1950. Na? It is clear, na? So this was the provision. You see, then after, the work of consolidation and integration of the state continued. Okay? So from different part of India, though this status was given, this categorization was conducted as an interim provision. It was also accepted by the Constituent Assembly that it is the temporary provision, and JVP committee had also given the suggestion that in the future the reorganization of state and on linguistic basis can be considered, but immediately it is not viable. It is clear, na? But the demand for reorganization of state on linguistic basis continued from different part of India. Okay? So one of the such effective demand was raised from northern part of Erstwhile Madras province. Okay? Right? In northern part of Madras was Telugu, Telugu dominated area, and southern part was dominated by Tamilians. Okay? This was Madras state, na? Northern part of Madras state है ना, Madras was part A state ना, it was Telugu dominated area, northern part was Telugu dominated area and southern part was dominated by Tamilian, but overall Tamilian were in majority. Okay, actually Telugu है ना were of the opinion that since Tamilian were in majority, that's why the state legislature work in their interest only, right? Not particularly give importance to the cause or particularly issue of the Telugu speaking people. That's why they started है ना a movement under है ना Potti Ramalulu. Okay, and he conducted particularly hunger strike, right? And during this strike he died. There was a danger of the development of political rebellion in newly created India. Okay, to suppress this rebellion or particularly to counter this rebellion, the Indian Parliament decided that Madras will be divided to two political units now, and northern part of Madras was given and was carved out, and the new state known as Andhra state came into origin. Andhra state, right, was created on November 1st, 1953, to be noted, right? The Andhra state was first linguistic state of India, right? It was created on 1st November 1953 na. It was not Andhra Pradesh, to be noted. It is Andhra state. Okay, Andhra state was renamed as Andhra Pradesh, right, under State Reorganization Act 1956. Getting well now? So how Andhra state came into origin, it is clear now? Okay, so following the constitution of Andhra state as the first linguistic state of India, similar demand also got intensified from different part of India na. To consider this issue, again the government set up a committee, that is a State Reorganization Commission under Fazal Ali, right? State Reorganization Commission was under the chairmanship of Fazal Ali with two other particularly members, right? है ना, two other members, it is clear na. This particularly committee known as the State Reorganization Commission or Fazal Ali Commission conducted nationwide tour, taken the opinion of the people, conducted seminar, right? Actually put a questionnaire before the citizen of India to take their opinion, and finally suggested that, right, there is no problem in constituting the state, reorganizing the state on linguistic basis. Fazal Ali Committee recommended for the creation of 14 state and 3 union territory. It is clear na? The Indian Parliament, Indian government accepted this recommendation, and hence a State Reorganization Act 1956 was passed as 7th Constitution Amendment Act, right? In which 16 state, 14 state and 6 union territories were created. Okay, getting well now? Right? So this is particularly a State Reorganization Act na. In under, actually you see under a State Reorganization, this part A, Part B, Part C and Part D remained in existence right from 1952 1956 na? Right? You know that it was based on political consideration. Okay, in 1956 through a State Reorganization Act 1956, this provision was nullified, right? And hence the territory were divided into 3 parts now. One is a state, second is union territory, and second is a protected territory. Okay, 3 category of territory exist in India as per the new provision. That is clear now, right? First one was, right, a state, second one was union territory, and third is protected territory. Getting well now? You see, as far as the question of protected territory is concerned, so if India will receive any foreign territory through treaty or agreement, na, right, it will be first given the status of protected territory, right? It will be given the status of protected territory, you see, right, protected territory, and it will be administered under Article 246 of the Constitution. Then after it will be upgraded in the status of UT, and finally it will be upgraded in the status of state. What is the process? It is clear now. First protected territory, then particularly union territory, and then it will be given statehood. Okay, then it will be given statehood. What is the process? It is clear now. Okay, this is the process. Okay, now see the process of reorganization, right? Even after 1956 continued, because there were several states which were actually, Fazal Ali Committee had said that the government should conduct reorganization on the basis of language, but you see, every such type of activity will be in the light to ensure the unity and integrity of the country, right? It should be as per administrative convenience, right? Economic developmental planning should be conducted into consideration, and efforts should be made to reorganize the state in such a way that it will not cause any problem in the implementation of 5-year plan. Okay, so these were the guiding particularly philosophy of